Okay, since I'm the one who fucked up the audio recording from last session, let's go ahead and do a recap. I may check out with my eyes for a little bit while I do full recall on this, but our session last time started at the temporary safe house provided by Karen's friend, Nerty with a 1. Ha! Fucking, upon leaving that place, you guys went for a little bit of a drive, ended up heading towards the Swain's junkyard. En route, a little bit of a scuff up involving a couple of gentlemen on bikes. One went careening off the road, courtesy of Dalton's handy driving. One of them went flying off the hood, courtesy of Karen's bullet to the head. Upon arrival, they split the party. Jacob and Troy were elected to go forward into the under areas in city center to start heading towards Swain's junkyard. At the same time, the rest of the party went with Dalton driving to Krill's location-based safe house, hovel, whatever you shall call it. Upon travel to the junkyard, Troy and Jacob were intercepted by a pair of 65s attempting to extract a toll for entering their turf. Jacob quickly demonstrated that he has little tolerance for this sort of shenaniganry, calmly and efficiently putting a bullet in one of their heads while splattering Troy with a nice little blood splatter effect and a silhouetted noir. They proceeded on. When arriving, they met one of the neighbors to Swain's junkyard, a 12-year-old descendant of immigrants from Tianjin named Jigu, who happens to sell noodles there. Jacob promptly being taken for 250 credits for 6 bowls of noodles. Troy and Jacob found very little at that location as far as intel and recon goes. A handful of cameras at that is what they were able to extract. Meantime, the rest of the party went back to Krill's location, picked up the drone, the hover drone, managed to, after some time, extricate it from the facility. Dalton then showed up with a ice cream truck, having been stripped out of all of the parts. They loaded the drone that way, taking a separate Dalton taking a separate route from the other 3 headed back. It was decided that Dalton should peel off and wait for them, being given a drone from Krill. You guys head back. The 3 make their way down to the Swains, where the rest of you get to meet Jigu for the first time. You encounter Swain, 2 of his thugs, and 3 nils that showed up. Swain having double-crossed your group, having put together who was with who and turned coat. After a battle, including Jigu randomly firing bullets into the area and Patty attempting to tackle Jigu and failing miserably and getting punked out by a little kid, everybody managed to deal with their potential enemies. Swain being electrocuted in the corner after a stray bullet strikes his escape hatch back into his facility. The nils having been shot up and or face caved in by Jacob at that point. A facility with a whole host of goodies, including a med bay, aspiring fixer stuff, a little bit of a warehouse transfer mech in the back, few racks of stuff, this, that, and the other thing. Along the way, after when the combat started, a drone, the drone that was given to Dalton, started making its way back. Dalton, being the curious, foppish fool that he is, started to follow the drone as best he could. Upon en route, Dalton encountered Giordano, but everybody calls me Bruno once more, asking for a plate of poutine, if I remember correctly, and getting a to-go hot, piping hot, steaming serving of poutine arrived at his feet. That is essentially, I believe, the beginning, middle, and end of last week's session, all things included. I don't think I missed any major beats. You did have 2 briefcases, one of which you opened and had a chip of some sort that had a signal, wanted a connection in and was attempting to make a connection out. I do believe Karen is in possession of that briefcase. Also a rack of 14 very old, very high vintage bottles of wine and a variety of other things, as I said, some armaments, some armor, a pile of junk, etc., to go looking through and for.